This isn't me telling you how to practice. This is me giving you suggestions, and a start point. Where you take it is completely up to you. Hey everybody, Normal Wiccan here. Haven't put out anything in a while. I want to apologize about that. But I just logged back into my account the other day, or today, and uh, saw quite a few views on my Book of Shadows um, video. One of the comments was one that I get a lot, so I decided to just pull out my iPhone and answer that comment real quick. And there are many variations of that comment. Do you have any suggestions for a new Wiccan, or how do I get started in Wicca? The comment that really struck me was, do you have any tips for baby witches who are just starting out? Um, my response to that first thing is, call yourself a new practitioner. Call yourself new to the craft. Call yourself just starting on your path. Don't call yourself a baby. The reason that I say that is because, unfortunately, like many other communities, there are cliques, there are things, groups within the pagan community, the Wiccan community as well. And they try very hard to make themselves seem really important and disparage other people. So don't give them ammo. That's number one. My suggestions to a beginning Wiccan, beginning pagan, beginning witch is read. Read everything you can. Take some of it with a grain of salt. One of my first books was something along the lines of a witch's spell book. It was not good. But I mean, I can recommend several authors. Scott Cunningham, Raymond Buckland. He's a little on the ritualistic side, but a lot of really good information. DJ Conway is not horrible. Silver Ravenwolf has gotten a lot of flack about her teenage the spell kit for teenagers, but she has have a lot of good information in her books as well. There are so many really good Wiccan resources to go by. Scott Cunningham is probably the one that I recommend the most, simply because he is very big in finding your own way. You will hear about Dianic covens, Gardenian covens, Alexandrian covens, all of that. Find your own way. Find what version of Wicca works best for you. Find the mix of pagan religions that work best for you. You will hear people talk about being many different combinations of pagan or Wiccan. I've actually heard some people call themselves Christian Wiccan. I don't completely understand that concept, simply because Wicca is not the practice of magic. Wicca is the belief in the Wiccan religion, the god and goddess, nature overall. So how you can be Christian and be Wicca is beyond me, but I'm not going to disparage someone for creating and following their own path. Read everything you can. With the internet today, I mean, when I first started out, I was 18 years old. Technically, they had the internet. Technically, it's nothing close to what it is now. If you were looking up information about Wicca over a 56K modem, and how, heaven forbid, the website had pictures on it, you can go, make dinner, make yourself a cup of coffee, come back, and hopefully the website's loaded. But today there are so many resources for the pagan faith, the Wiccan faith. Websites, Lewin Books just has a myriad of wonderful books and resources. Um, you can go on Facebook, and I know for some young people, Facebook is for old people, whatever. You can go on Facebook, you can go on most social networking groups and look up pagans of whatever state you're in. And you'll find a lot of organizations, a lot of meeting of the month, gatherings, stuff like that. It's an absolutely wonderful resource. Um, get to know people in your community, and don't be ashamed to say, hey, I'm new to this. When I first started out as Wicca, again, this was god awful, like 28 years ago. um, our local resource was this nearest Barnes and Nobles. You'd go into the New Age section and possibly get seen by another pagan who was willing to approach you. I mean, I had a couple that I met through the local bookstore, but nothing like the resources they have now. And it's such an incredible thing for Wiccans and pagans to be able to meet as easily as they can now. Second bit of advice for a new starting out pagan Wiccan is stay away from covens. And understand, I've been in a couple of covens. I was a coven priest for years. But here's the thing. You can go into a coven. They're going to teach you their way of doing things. They're going to teach you their method of practicing. They're going to teach you their method of believing. None of those are bad things. However, there's two problems. Number one, you should have a clear understanding of what you believe in your practice before you go into a group where you're going to be influenced by others. That's number one. Number two, I have, unfortunately, in my time, seen several covens who didn't have the best intentions. The members of the covens were taken advantage of. The heads of the covens would get big heads. Some of the covens I was actually a part of, the priests and priestesses of the coven were doing things for the wrong reason. So just be, I'm not going to say shun covens, shun group gatherings. I'm just going to say, just like with any other situation in your life, anything else in the world, be cautious of what you're getting into. Don't make commitments at first. Just, hey, I'd like to see what's going on. And if a coven is not willing to let you just hang out and see how everything goes, that's a red flag. And like I tell everybody, always keep yourself safe. So that's number two. I'm not saying that covens are a bad thing. I would just walk into a coven, already know what you're wanting, so you don't get taken advantage of. Number three, it is wonderful to have hand-blown glass chalices, hand-forged athames, a 4x4 altar made of pine, and all of those things are wonderful. The ornately embroidered altar cloth, but they're not needed. You can go buy a chalice from the dollar store, a wine glass from the dollar store. Cleanse it, use it as your chalice. You can go buy a $10 little boot knife from a truck stop and cleanse it, charge it, possibly, etch the handle if you want. You don't have to, and that's your athame. Your altar can be a trunk with a towel laid over it. That's not what's important. Are they nice? Yes. And going down the line, that's something that you can definitely look into, get stuff like that. But is that something you need to practice? The answer is no. Technically, you don't need anything to practice. You don't need any of the trappings to practice. That doesn't just include the religion. That includes the practice of energy work, magic. You don't need the athame. You don't need the chalice. If you create ceremonies or read about ceremonies where they have athames, chalices, and you want to reenact that, yeah, absolutely, you can do that. But it's not absolutely needed. My wife, wonderful woman, very, very talented practitioner, actually works better without any of that. It gets in her way. And that's just something that I want everybody to think about. Another thing on the same note is the dollar store is a wonderful place. You can get incense, you can get chalices. You a lot of times can get a steak knife that you can use as an athame. Do not be ashamed of getting your tools from the dollar store. It's better to have them if that's the way you wish to practice, and wait for the money or the time or whatever to make the more expensive stuff than not to have them. Another thing, I think we're on like 4 at this point. Make a book of shadows. Write down everything, all of the rituals you do. Notate whether they work, whether you liked them, whether you want to change them. Also, make yourself a journal. Not so much for spell work, not so much for ceremony, more for your experiences. So you can look back on later on the experiences you had and be able to review those experiences. And that helps a lot of times, because when you're feeling in a rut, you're feeling lost, you can look back and go, oh my god, I remember when I first started out, I really had no clue what I was doing. I can get through this. Number 5, and this is the important one, always be cautious. I am not going to tell you that you should not openly be Wiccan. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't openly be pagan. What I'm going to tell you is, in this world, when people are presented with something they don't understand, that causes fear. And fear in some people can lead to negative consequences. I've had a gun pulled on me by a Baptist minister down in Texas. I've lost apartments. I had my drill sergeant in the military tell me, you keep your room really straight for a devil worshiper. Not kidding. Don't be surprised. I'm not saying don't be upset. Don't be surprised when the negativity comes towards you, simply because you are being who you are. I mean, let's be honest, in this world, those that lead alternate lifestyles, part of the LGBTQ plus, are attacked. Uh, you know, people are attacked for being Asian. People are attacked for being, black, Hispanic. This shouldn't surprise you. Again, I'm not saying it shouldn't upset you, but be cautious, okay? And remember that as well. When people look at me and they're like, well, I don't understand how you can be sympathetic towards African Americans, Hispanic Americans, gay, lesbian Americans. In my life, I have not been discriminated against regularly. Okay, the instances of discrimination are kind of few and far between. They are there mainly because of my religion, sometimes because, long hair, long beard, I ride a motorcycle. But they're there. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling in the pit of your stomach that you are about to be treated differently simply because of who you are. Nothing you did, nothing you said, just because you are openly who you are. So remember that as well. When you have those experiences, I'm not going to say if, because it's probably going to happen. Remember that. That way, when someone else has those experiences because of their skin color, because of their belief system, because of who they love, you know how they felt. Remember that. The last note that I'm going to leave you guys with is be true to yourself. I am not telling you to don a pentacle that big, which I did at one time. Go walking around. But be true to yourself. Don't let people... You're going to notice if you wear the trappings of being pagan, a pentacle, ring, what have you, you're going to get a lot more attention. You're going to have Christians in the best intention. Oh, you should come to church with me. Okay, I have a church. I have a belief. It's not yours. A lot of them don't realize how insulting that statement is. But be true to yourself. Don't let yourself get railroaded. No, thank you. I have a belief. I'm not looking for one. You need to take off that pentacle. Well, if you're at work or something like that, where you're not allowed to wear jewelry, okay, fine. Okay, yeah. But if someone's telling you need to put that pentacle in your shirt, but Lucy is wearing a cross at the front desk, not so much. Tell Lucy to put away her cross, I'll put away my pentacle. And that's what we need to work on. Just like every other community out there that's not with the mainstream, not with the norm, not with the majority. Let's put it that way. Whether it's African American, Hispanic American, gay, lesbian, transgender, that's what we need to demand. Not special treatment, same treatment. I have coordinated Pagan Pride Day. I was one of the people in Indiana who helped coordinate signing petitions so that way military members could have a pentacle put on their headstone. The military's argument for that was, it might offend some people. Okay, well, I'm not Christian. And there are plenty of Muslims and other religions out there that may view the cross as offensive. But they're allowed to have the symbol of their belief on their headstone. So should our boys. And if anything, we as pagans, and this is my opinion, you can have your own. We as pagans need to stand with those demanding equality for everyone. Because you are going to have those experiences. And they're not going to feel good. But remember who you are. Remember what makes you happy. You know, we do not seek happiness at the expense of others. But it's not our responsibility to make others not afraid of the unknown. Just because they don't understand us doesn't mean we should change to fix that. It means they should learn to fix that. Anyways, to all of you new pagans, blessed be. Welcome to the beginning of your journey. If you ever have any questions, feel free to message me, leave messages on my, on my videos, and I promise I will be putting out quite a few more. Pleasant journey. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Also, you can donate to my Patreon. All Patreon donations will go towards delivering you new and more interesting content. One last thing, if you had any questions about the content of this video, do not forget to ask those questions in the comments. I will do my absolute best to get back to you in a timely manner, and you, as always, have a great day and blessed be.